Yes, people. What's going on? It's Got Talks Football. We are back again with another video. Do me a favor. Please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button while you guys are in the building. And we, of course, need to talk about a bunch of things. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. As always, we had a wonderful stream last night as we spoke about all the funny stuff from Madueke to Eze to Rodrygo to all of that stuff. And this morning, we got way more news with Takehiro Tomiyasu, of course, leaving Arsenal. We got more news on Madueke, more news on Rodrygo. We got news on a new manager coming into the team. More and more news pops in as we speak. But before we go any further, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. And let's get the show started the right way. Now, I'm just going to ask you guys a quick question. Do you guys honestly believe Arsenal will sign Madueke? Because it seems to really trigger a lot of people, and including myself. I don't want Noni Madueke at Arsenal. I think Ethan Nwaneri is better than Madueke. So my question to you guys is, who is better? Who is better? Do you think Madueke is better? Or do you think Ethan Nwaneri is better? Because in my opinion, I think Ethan Nwaneri at the age of 18 can only get better. I think he's currently the better option on the right wing than having Noni Madueke and signing him for 50 million. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would we sign him for 50 million? To me, I think it's ridiculous business if we try to go sign Madueke for 50 million. In the meanwhile, do me a favor, please do hit that like button, guys. Please do hit that subscribe button. I've just done a video earlier, but I might actually take it down as we need to speak about a bunch of these topics, and I needed to do a live video to discuss it with you guys, as there is so much to discuss, so much to go over. The transfer window is moving ever so fast, and it's almost impossible to keep up with everything. You're going to miss it. If you blink, you're going to miss it. Academy kids are leaving left, right, and center. Arsenal are not planning to announce Zubimendi today due to the events of yesterday. That has been announced. So let me just go to this first. So because of the unfortunate passing of Diogo Jota, Arsenal have held off of announcing Zubimendi's signing. They want to wait and maybe announce it later in the week, next week maybe, or probably not going to do it on the weekend. Maybe they're going to do it next week, but no rush. He's going to be an Arsenal player. We're basically just waiting for them to say he's holding up the shirt. So Arsenal are going to hold off from announcing Zubimendi. So yeah, Arsenal not planning to announce Zubimendi today due to the events of yesterday. So yeah, they're going to hold off from announcing him at this moment in time. And yeah, man, condolences to everyone in Diego Jota's and Andre Jota's family, man. That's sad, man. It's very sad. Very sad news. In other news, we're going to talk about Leandro Trossard. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. First things first, let me hit that like. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What? No way. No chance. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Thomas Partey is finished, mate. Thomas Partey is finished. Ex-Arsenal star Thomas Partey charged with 5 counts of rape against 2 women. What the fuck? What the hell? Official. And when I say official, it's everywhere. Look at this. Ben Jacobs 2 minutes ago. Thomas Partey has been charged by Metropolitan Police. The Crown prosecutor served his authorities and the Metropolitan Police to charge the man after files of evidence have been submitted by detectives. The Met have issued a charge and requested that the 32-year-old in contact with the following offenses of 5 counts of rape, 1 count of sexual assault, and allegedly taken place between 2021 and 2022. Damn. This is crazy. Some people are just sick, though. The way some people are celebrating this. Like, at the end of the day, nobody needs to be... Remember, there is a victim involved in all these things. This is crazy, though. I'm not even gonna... I'm lost. I don't know what to say. Wow. That is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy. So Thomas Partey has been charged. He's no longer an Arsenal player. So in my opinion, it's like, forget about the football side of things. From a human side, like, this whole time, the club and everybody were protecting him. How it took this long for them to charge him? I don't even know what to say. I'm just lost for words. Just lost for words. Imagine this whole time. I'm just glad that I was on the side of the people who wanted him gone. There you go. Fenerbahce have started talks with Thomas Partey's representatives over a transfer. Surely nobody goes and signs him now. This is crazy. I'm honestly lost for words. I kind of wanted to just talk about other stuff. Arsenal let him play and backed him for time. And to get 5 counts, that's crazy. The moment he leaves Arsenal also to get charged. How is that? How is it that it took this long? That happened 3 years ago, basically. For 3 years, he was playing football, no problem. And the moment his contract runs out, he's released from Arsenal 4 days after being officially a free agent. This drops. It's crazy. Yeah. Maybe Arsenal were actually protecting him. Maybe Arsenal were actually holding him back from getting any... I don't know how could a club be holding somebody back from getting charged, though? You can't... Surely you can't be... Honestly, I don't know what to say. I'm kind of like... It's disgusting, obviously. First of all, there's a victim involved. I'm not really sitting here. I don't want to trigger people and bring it up every 2 seconds. And I don't want to show you guys all the stuff that I'm reading because it's like, yeah, it's just some of the stuff is absolutely... It's a disgrace, man. And I'm happy we don't have to deal with this. As fans, we don't have to talk about this anymore. We don't have to worry about this. We don't have to worry about any of this. And we can just move on with our lives. He's charged. He's not convicted, I know. But at the same time, we don't need to speak about this anymore. I can't believe that. Wow. That is insane turn of events. Insane turn of events. Insane turn of events. I am going to try to move on now. It's not easy. to when you have such a massive topic drop out of nowhere. But wow, imagine that. Our former Arsenal midfielder has been charged. Crazy. Moving on, and let's talk about something else now. We got Leandro Trossard situation. Don't worry, we'll open floor. We'll have a conversation and discussion in a bit. But before we do that, as this man reported here first, Dave, he said that Leandro Trossard, regarding his situation, now confirmed that Leandro Trossard has now signed with his new agency. Leandro Trossard has signed with a new agency. Situation was developing. Potentially, he could have signed with a new agency. We knew he was going to move to a new agency, as reported a day ago, and now he's officially with new representation. The contract talks have stalled with Arsenal, and it might have been due to those agents. So maybe this could mean something different for Arsenal now that Leandro Trossard is going to potentially be getting a new situation. But yeah, wow. I don't know about you guys, but it's like, how do I even talk about other topics? That's all everyone's going to want to talk about now. We can't really sit here and talk about other stuff. But we're going to try to move on. Your manager protected him. Listen, I have no control over what people do. That is their business, right? Really, Arsenal fans diving that poor girl off Twitter. Yeah, that was a mad thing. Looking back at it, that was a mad thing. Partey's finished. Yeah, we know Partey's finished. But while we're here, let's try to stay away from the Thomas Partey thing, because he's no longer Arsenal player. There's not really a point of deep diving into that every 2 seconds. We have other things we can talk about, but not to say that that's not important. But at the same time, we're here to talk about football, and he's no longer an Arsenal player. So it doesn't make what he's done right, but they're going to run with that headline. Former Arsenal midfielder, they're going to run with that headline. He's no longer an Arsenal player. Arsenal winger, Leandro Trossard has signed and with new representation, as DH Sport Entertainment will now be now in charge of his future. So could this mean that we will now have a situation where we will be able to get a new deal sorted with him? We will have to wait and see. We'll have to see where this goes. We have to see what happens from here. But in my opinion, this maybe could mean that he's trying to look to move away from Arsenal, or he's trying to get a new deal with Arsenal. And this could be one of the first steps to help him get that new deal sorted with Arsenal. We also spoke about the new coach on the previous. We also spoke about the new coach on the previous video when I did this earlier today. Let me just go to David Onstein's tweet. David Onstein, there we go. David Onstein's tweet where he spoke about Arsenal getting a new coach. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't know too much about the coach. We're not going to spend too much time on Arsenal getting a new coach, but all I got to say is former Manchester United and PSG player is coming in to be the Arsenal coach. So we'll see where that goes and how much he impacts it. But he's a defender. Maybe he's a defensive coach. Maybe he's coming in to give Arsenal some more experience in that coaching staff. But yeah, and as I can see now, everyone just wants to talk about one topic in the chat. Yeah, everyone just wants to talk about one topic. The Thomas Partey news is mad, ladies and gentlemen. I know. Hey, good thing is Arsenal have let him go, and he does not have to put a stain on our club. And it's disgusting that all that stuff was going on behind the scenes for the longest time also. We always tried to keep it away from football, but that was always in the background, being spoken about in the background. As for this, you got Takehiro Tomiyasu leaves Arsenal effective immediately, and contract will be terminated on mutual consent. If what would have been worse is if we gave Thomas Partey $200K a week to stay at the club, and he would have got charged after. Mad thing. Long story short, right now, Takehiro Tomiyasu leaves Arsenal effective immediately. I kind of feel bad for Tomiyasu. He gets too much hate for something he can't control. He can't control the fact that he got injured all the time. He can't control the fact that he's been out of football for so long. He can't control some of the things that has happened to him. So I feel bad for Takehiro Tomiyasu. I think he was a solid player when he's fit, and at this point he just can't stay fit. So good squad player, could play right back, left back, center back on either side, but it's time to go. And shout out to Hand of Arsenal, because he's the one who announced this transfer. He's the one who announced the whole situation. And yeah. Honestly, guys, we keep talking about it, but it makes me feel sick to my stomach that Arsenal protected Thomas Partey for those many years, and just there's a bunch of fans, the club, the manager continued to defend, and until he's obviously convicted, but at the same time, to get charged, you need a lot of evidence to get charged, and for them to have enough evidence to get him charged, and also people hear all the rumors and everything for the past couple of years, is just nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. And as somebody who, I'm not going to be one of those guys who's going to do a whole video saying, oh my God, Thomas Partey's charged with the pictures and the thumbnails of him behind bars. I think that's distasteful also. Just the club was consistently defending him, and I feel ashamed right now at this moment in time. I feel ashamed. What can I do? What can I do? Nothing I can do, man. Shame to the Arsenal sponsors. Yeah, you know what? What can we do? I'm just glad that the club moved him on, and we don't have to get dragged through the mud and be associated with Thomas Partey anymore. We don't have to be associated with him. There you go. We just try our best to move on from this situation, and I know it's not something you can just say let's move on from, but hey, that is that situation in a nutshell right there. But moving on to the next thing that we need to talk about, before we get to the big stuff, the Rodrygos and everything else. Did you guys see Nico Williams signed a 10-year deal? Nico Williams signed a 10-year deal with Atletico Bilbao. 10 years. A 10-year deal. Man signed 10-year deal. After all the stuff with Arsenal, he signed a 10-year deal. What the hell? He milked Atletico Madrid. He milked them for every penny. Every penny he milked them for. 10 years is nuts. 10 years is nuts. That's off the back of what happened last time. So fair play. You rarely see a transfer market anymore. But Nico Williams signed for a 10-year deal with Atletico Bilbao. Aimed interest also with clubs like Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Chelsea, and he ends up staying. Crazy. Fair play to Atletico Bilbao for being able to keep a player of that quality after 10 years in charge. After signing a 10-year deal, rejecting Barcelona and all these other clubs that he could have gone to. Arsenal wanted him. We had him at the top of our list. I'm very happy we didn't end up getting him, to be fair. But yeah, people keep saying it's over for Partey. Yeah, it is over. It's over for him at Arsenal. It's over for him at Arsenal. We move on. Charges are official. Yeah, officially charged. Crazy, man. Crazy. Partey is finished. Yeah, the breaking Partey news is nuts. Yeah, I know. Quickly, let's move on to the next topic, which is none other than 73 million for none other than the man himself. Where is he at? Let's go to it. Martinelli. I know you guys just want to talk about one topic. But you know what's nasty? The worst thing about it is people are going to be like, that's your manager who wanted to keep him. This is beyond football. Stop it. Like, this is not about football anymore. It's not about football. It's not about anything like that. We call ourselves a classy club. We call ourselves a classy club. It is what it is at this point. It's just disgusting, mate. It's just disgusting. Arteta wanted to extend his contract also. It's a mad thing. 5 counts. 5 counts. 5 counts. 2 different women. 3 counts related to 2 different women. Wait. What? What the hell? Guys, trigger warning. Trigger warning to anybody who's had to deal with this before, because what I'm about to show you guys is crazy. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Look at this. Thomas Partey has been charged with 2 counts of R relating to 1 woman, 3 counts of R relating to a second woman, 1 count of SA according to a 3rd woman. I'm sorry. That is effed up. And there's no way in hell the club does not know the severity of the situation. No chance. No chance the club doesn't know the severity of the situation. No chance the club has backed this guy for that long knowing the severity of the situation. That is messed up. He's no longer at the club, and they gave him no goodbye video, nothing. I'm not surprised why they didn't say nothing about his leaving the club. This is mad. This is mad. Honestly, disgusting, mate. Disgusting. I'm going to try to avoid speaking about it for now for the rest of the show. I don't really want to spend the rest of the show just talking about Thomas Partey. We're here to talk about football, and I feel like that is too much. That's too triggering for certain people, and it's not fair to spend the whole show going back and talking about something of that nature. There might be people watching who've gone through stuff like that, and every time we mention it, it just might bring back bad memories. So let's try to avoid speaking about it anymore, and let's get back to the real conversations about football that we came here for. And I didn't come here to have a conversation about Thomas Partey in the first place. And we've addressed it, and I don't feel like I'm going to have to address it every single time somebody walks into the stream. So please, guys, if somebody in the chat is like, have you heard the news? Just refer to them to go to the actual timestamps that I'm putting in the video as we speak. Okay? So yeah, the next topic of discussion is going to be none other than Ethan Nwaneri. Reason why I want to speak about Ethan. Is because there's a report going around about Ethan, who's a rising star at Arsenal, who is currently looking to get a new contract. It is a situation where Ethan, we need to get him on a new deal, and I'm worried that we could have a situation where we could have a problem. The Athletic reported this originally, and one second, what does it say? Hand of Arsenal just said his contract was verbally agreed, but I was reporting it as such. Then all of a sudden, turns out nothing made sense. Today, all makes sense. Oh, so Arsenal had a verbal agreement in the contract situation, and then all of a sudden we maybe took the contract away. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Ethan, Arsenal's deal is due to expire next summer, but the club have yet to find an agreement over a new contract. Ethan wants to stay at Arsenal. The club don't want to sell, but talks are at a delicate stage for a number of reasons. And he explains that Ethan signed a professional contract upon turning 17 in 2024. The contract is due next summer. Arsenal need to find a situation. And to me, the PFA Young Player of the Year top 6 candidate who's 18 years old and could still be in this situation, who had himself one hell of a season, and his performance versus Leicester, for example, was outstanding. He had some really, really shining performances. And the main reason why we're struggling to give him a new deal, it's very simple. It's because of Noni Madueke. Noni Madueke to Arsenal is holding back Arsenal's capability of giving Ethan a new contract, because Ethan does not want to come, might not want to link his future to the club when we're bringing in Noni Madueke, Eze, Rodrygo. What's the chances of him getting minutes if we have Noni Madueke, Eze, and Rodrygo, all three of them? What's the chances he's going to get minutes? Something's going to have to give. In my opinion, you trust in Ethan. You don't go and sign Noni Madueke. It does not make sense. Give Ethan a new deal. Forget about Noni Madueke. Still sign Eze. And if you can, go get Rodrygo. But Noni Madueke doesn't make sense to me. And also, if we're going to go and do all that business, we're probably going to have to sell one of Martinelli and Trossard. And in my opinion, Trossard is the cheaper one to get rid of. But if we can sell Martinelli, ladies and gentlemen, there's a rumor floating about Martinelli also. But to me, this is the main thing. I say no to Noni Madueke. I don't want nothing to do with Noni Madueke. I don't want Arsenal to sign Noni Madueke. I want Arsenal to stay clear away from Noni Madueke. I think Noni Madueke is a mistake waiting to happen. If we were to sign Noni Madueke, we would have a situation where Ethan could potentially be going down the pecking order. We're signing a guy who is, in my opinion, older than him, but not better than him, and very, very inconsistent, to say the least. Does not make any sense, in my opinion, to get him, who will also struggle to be a backup for Saka. He'll be a good backup, but he won't get much starting minutes, in my opinion, over Saka. And he will also not be effective enough to play on the left wing either. So what's the point of bringing him in just to play on the same side as Saka when we already have Trossard, Ethan, Martinelli, who can do the same thing, just maybe not to the same standard as Saka, where I think they're all better players than Noni Madueke. I think Chelsea are pushing the Noni Madueke rumors more than Arsenal are, because Arsenal wouldn't really want this to get out there. I think Andre Berta is speaking to multiple people at the same time, and this is why this has led to this conversation today. It is simply, we are speaking to multiple people at similar times, and it has led to these conversations becoming more and more prevalent at this moment in time. But yeah, that is where that is. But one more rumor that we need to float about before we go any further is this right here. Understand Arsenal and several clubs are interested in signing Noni Madueke from Chelsea this summer. The Chelsea forward is thought to be valued at £50 million and believe it could be open to negotiations. You don't spend £50 million on a backup to Bukayo Saka. I'm sorry. Especially when you already have Ethan. If you're going to spend £50 million, you go and get difference makers. If you spend £50 million, you go and sign somebody who's actually going to do something. I'm sorry. No, this is the importance, in my opinion. You do not spend £50 million on a backup. No, I don't think that's important. If you're going to spend 50 million pounds, you get somebody who can push the starting 11, not somebody who's saying. And I think Andre Berta is strictly just using this as a diversion tactic. He's using this as a diversion tactic. Somebody in the chat just said Ethan can play in the middle and bench Odegaard. Can he bench Eze? Can he bench Eze? Because Eze might play centrally. Can he bench Eze? We got 200 people in the chat. If you agree with me and you think Noni Madueke to Arsenal doesn't make sense, hit the like button. If you disagree with me and think Noni Madueke to Arsenal does make sense, please let me know in the chat why Noni Madueke to Arsenal makes sense. He doesn't make sense. Ethan is also not going to be benching Martin Odegaard anytime soon. Ethan is 18, turning 19. I'm not saying he's going to lead us to a title, but I'm saying it doesn't make sense signing a 23-year-old who I think is not better than Ethan. He's not. Try signing Mbeumo instead of Madueke. Mbeumo's going to cost you 70 mil. Mbeumo's going to cost you close to what we would try to get for Rodrygo. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Next, let's talk about the next thing. The next thing is, wait, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Madueke is coming. No, he's not. Let's see what the next thing is. Arsenal are waiting on the outcome of Viktor Gyökeres' agent meeting with Sporting's management to determine the final price tag of the player. This is very interesting. So Arsenal are waiting on the outcome of Viktor Gyökeres' agent meeting. We are waiting for Viktor Gyökeres, and this means to me we are closer to the Viktor Gyökeres deal at this moment in time than we are a deal for Sesko. People were talking about Sesko left, right, and center, but now it seems like the Gyökeres deal seems to be closer once again, and it's a vicious cycle. One second it's Gyökeres, next second it's Sesko, next second is something else, but it's clear that the club are looking at Benjamin Sesko and saying to themselves, he's just too much money for what we need. And if Gyökeres can be the right price, then maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll do it. You know, before the news today, I was thinking, why haven't Arsenal released a post saying goodbye and thank you for your services to Thomas Partey? It all makes sense. It all makes sense now why they didn't want to release a whole goodbye video to Thomas Partey. But one thing that does make sense also is letting Tomiyasu leave. Tomiyasu's injuries have left him in a situation where he's finished. And this is why we let him go. Now, enough about Thomas Partey. What's next? We spoke about Gyökeres. Gyökeres is waiting for an offer for Arsenal. We're waiting to see what happens there. We already spoke about Ethan and the whole attack situation and strong interest from clubs in the Premier League and across Europe. Honestly, if we were to lose Ethan on a free, it would be an absolute disaster. He's such a good young up-and-coming player. If we were to lose him on a free, I would be disgusted. Personally, we should either give him a new deal this summer or, worst-case scenario, force him to sign a new deal. But he's not going to sign something if he doesn't want to. And then at that point, we might need to consider selling Ethan. Reports are Ollie Watkins is no longer an option for Arsenal. Ollie Watkins is no longer an option for Arsenal, which is great, which means we don't have to worry about the underwhelming potential signing of Ollie Watkins. But with everything comes something else. We still don't know who we're going to sign. That is a issue. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But for now, that's what's that. We already spoke about Noni Madueke. A new round of talks for Noni Madueke as Arsenal, as the player could be open to the move. There's no guarantee that Noni Madueke is even open to the move. People are talking about Arsenal want Noni Madueke. Arteta likes him. There's no guarantee that this is accurate. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that this is for real. There's none. So we'll wait and see what happens. In my opinion, it's just talks are just talks. Talks are just talks. So yeah, with all that being said, there is a couple more things that we need to discuss. Those are this right here. Eze, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I heard reports from some people that I know close to me that Eze could happen very, very soon, and this deal is escalating very quickly. I mean, to the point where we might hear news about Eze to Arsenal on the weekend. So we'll wait and see if we hear Eze to Arsenal news on the weekend, but keep an eye out for Eze to Arsenal to quickly accelerate and for that news to become very, very prevalent. Somebody just sent a super chat. There is no way your club did not know about Partey. You're right. There's definitely no way that the club did not know the extent of the issue at hand. He would have had meetings with the club, and for multiple years, they continued to play him. And it's honestly, it's disgusting. It is. What can you do? What can you do? Let's get back to the thing. Who do you want? I want Viktor Gyökeres. Very simple. Viktor Gyökeres is the guy that I want. Viktor Gyökeres is the transfer that I think is the better transfer. Viktor Gyökeres is the player who I think we should sign. I don't want Noni Madueke. And if there was a way, I would even look at selling Kai Havertz. But reports came out today. Reports came out that Arsenal could be looking to sell Kai Havertz. Yes. Arsenal understood several clubs in Germany are keeping a close eye on Havertz's situation heading into the next summer when he has 2 years left on his contract. You know what that tells me? That tells me Arsenal is actually considering selling Kai Havertz. That tells me Kai Havertz potentially could be for sale, and clubs are monitoring the situation to see if he's for sale. Now, will Arsenal sell Kai Havertz? I wouldn't be against it, personally. Would the club do it? I think they would. Would Kai Havertz go back to Germany? I don't see why not. Kai Havertz, in the summer of 2026, could be sold for club record fee 60 million. Maybe. How much could Kai Havertz go for with 2 years left on his deal next summer? Honestly, let me know. How much money do you guys think Kai Havertz could go for? People in chat, let me know. Let me know. People in the chat, let me know. How much do you guys think? I'm sorry, Iga, I don't believe there's any chance Madueke comes to Arsenal, but believing unreliable reports that German clubs might be interested. Yeah, I'm just having a discussion. Same way we're having the Madueke discussion, we're having a discussion about this. If we sell Kai Havertz, at least get our money back. Do you think we get our money back? If we sell Kai Havertz next summer, how much money would we get? 65 million? How much money would we get? If Arsenal sold Kai Havertz, how much money would we get? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not really gonna go too far into that anymore. People saying I'm deluded. What did I say this deluded, man? What did I say this deluded? Like, people just keep saying shit like, Iga, you're deluded. You're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. What's next? So yeah, we spoke about Gyökeres. We spoke about Zubimendi. We spoke about Madueke. I guess it's now, we've gotten to the final point. We got to talk about the final topic of all topics. Martinelli, I'm joking. Yeah, no, but seriously, Martinelli, if we were to be able to sell Martinelli for 85 million euros, would be amazing. But there's no chance Martinelli's going to accept going to Saudi Arabia. Martinelli's not going to go to Saudi Arabia to play for Al-Nassr. As much as Ronaldo's an idol of his or anything, there is no chance Martinelli's going to go to play for Saudi Arabia in Saudi Arabia right now. He wants to play in the World Cup. He wants to play for Brazil. He wants to play in Europe. And I just don't see him going there for money at this point in his career. He's so young. He still has the whole world ahead of him. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to probably wait. He's going to wait it out and see what he can do later on in his career. But for now, it's going to be very simple. Continue to play football for Arsenal. Continue to try to play at the top level. And for 73 million pounds or 85 million euros, he's a quality player, but it's just unlikely that he goes and decides to leave Europe to go play in the Saudi. Yeah. Let's go to the main topic now. Where is it? Here it is. Rodrygo to Arsenal. Arsenal are ready now to make an offer of 90 million euros for Rodrygo goes after his Club World Cup ends. So Arsenal are going to make a major offer. And the reason why we're going to do that, very simple. Very, very simple. Rodrygo has not been getting much game time as of late. And when I say much game time, versus Barcelona, 0 minutes. Versus this team, 0 minutes. Versus Juventus, 0 minutes. He came off the bench for Salzburg, but besides the first game, has not gotten a start. And in these games, Real Madrid, the lineups that they were putting out there, you had Valverde and Arda Güler playing, right? And Mbappe wasn't even on the pitch. Juventus, when Mbappe came back, what do you think happened? Mbappe himself was coming off the bench. And they started with Jude Bellingham on the right and Vinny and Garcia with Trent in behind. It never was a situation where in these games he was being utilized in the positions that he wants to be utilized in. He comes to Arsenal, he gets to play on the left wing. He comes to Arsenal, he gets to be thrown into the team and do stuff. With this team potentially going to a 3 at the back, potentially having Trent as a wing back, potentially having Mbappe and Vinny and Jude Bellingham and Valverde, Arda Güler. Where's the minutes for Rodrygo? Where are they? Where will Rodrygo play? When will Rodrygo play? Will Rodrygo be given the opportunity to actually flourish at Real Madrid anymore? Probably not. And Real Madrid are now open to listening to offers for Rodrygo. Rodrygo is the guy Arsenal will break the bank for. Real Madrid are now ready to listen to offers for Rodrygo, Godin, but no club has made a bid so far. Reports Arsenal are now ready to make an offer of 90 million euros for Rodrygo goes after the Club World Cup ends. But the player put talks with Arsenal on standby until the tournament ends. So there you go. We'll see if Liverpool jump in. We'll see if Man City jump in. We'll see if Chelsea jump in. But at this moment in time, I'm only hearing Arsenal's name. Even if Bayern come in, we don't have to worry about Bayern. We can pull him to Arsenal over Bayern any day of the week. The Premier League has way more pull than Bundesliga. But yeah, the question number one is he worth 90 million euros? I think 90 million euros is quite cheap for a player of his quality. It's like 80 million pounds. Are Arsenal going to get him over Liverpool or Man City? Man City don't really need him. Liverpool haven't made sales yet. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, now is the time of the show where we do Q&A and question and answer for the next 15 minutes. So go ahead, guys, answer your questions. We'll get to it. And make sure you please do hit those like buttons, as it's absolutely free and it does not cost you a penny and helps out the channel massively. Right now we have over 200 people in the chat and we have over 200 people in the chat and we haven't even hit 65 likes. What are we doing? 65 likes. You can't hit 65 likes. Egal, do not disrespect Bayern, one of the most successful clubs in football history. If Rodrygo wants to go there, Bayern could sign Rodrygo. I understand. But if Rodrygo has a choice to go to Arsenal, who will pay him 300K a week and also play in the Premier League, or go to Bayern Munich, it's up to him. But he goes to Bayern Munich, he's going to have the same problem. You have Musiala, you have Olise, you have friggin' all these guys that are wingers there. You come to Arsenal, you're pretty much top of the pecking order. You're priority number one. There you go. People, let's keep it respectful. At the end of the day, I'm not sitting here to get abuse from you guys. I'm just literally just trying to have a conversation about football. I have nothing to do with what somebody's done in their personal life. At the end of the day, we gotta understand that there's a victim involved in this situation. Point scoring and making jokes about a situation that we have no idea about, it makes no sense. Can Rodrygo play at striker? He has. Rodrygo has played as striker. Rodrygo, one second. Rodrygo striker situation. Let's see. Where has he played in his career? Where has Rodrygo played in his career? He's played on the left, on the right, and in all those positions. So there we go. In his career, he has played as a right winger 146 times. He's played as a left winger 178 times. He has played as a central forward 83 times, and then a couple times attacking midfielder and second striker. As you guys can see, he has played almost double the amount of games as a right winger, but in almost half the games, he has just as much goals and half the assists from the left side. I think at Arsenal, he could cook on the left-hand side. We could give him the platform to do what he needs to do to be one of the best players on that left-hand side. Will it happen? We don't know. Liverpool. We'll have to wait and see what Liverpool do. I'm not counting anything out with Liverpool. Liverpool are unpredictable. They could do whatever they want and probably get whatever player they want. There's so many players that could come into that Liverpool team and make them better. They really won the league and blitzed the league last year with their starting 11 and not really using their bench as much as they needed to. If they now get a bench on top of that, boy, could be a problem for everybody. Not playing on Salah's position. Nobody's playing on Salah or Saka's position. He's coming in, he's going to play on the left. If Diaz leaves Rodrygo in, Liverpool fans, you guys want a striker. You also want Rodrygo you honestly believe you're gonna get Florian Wirtz and Rodrygo? We'll have to wait and see. I'm just freaking exhausted, man. I've been up since 5 a.m. Sorry for that, people. How many trophies can we win if we get all our targets? We'll have to wait and see. We have to first win something before we start talking about how many trophies we can win. But yeah, people, do please hit those like buttons right now, please. It does not cost you a penny. It's absolutely free. It helps out the channel massively. People keep talking about the Partey stuff. I'm gonna tweet about it after the game. I'm not sorry. I'm gonna tweet about it after I do the video. After this video, I'm not really. I don't really like talking about stuff like this because I feel like it's people forget the main thing, which is there is you could talk about the player getting charged, but there is a victim, there is something, there is a person behind this, and the person who's been the victim of this crime is the one who people need to have some sympathy for and have to understand that we can't just be making jokes, point scoring, and talking about something like this without the utmost sensitivity, because there's people out there who have suffered from these kind of crimes, and it will make it a lot worse if we just sit here and just continue to speak about a topic of this magnitude without that sensitivity at all. But I'll tell you guys this, I'm disgusted. I'm ashamed. I hate the fact that the club associated with us with that for as long as they did. I'm happy it's over. Happy it's gone. We don't have to worry about talking about this discussion anymore. And we don't have to worry about that stain that this could put on our club's name. And yeah, that is pretty much it. I'll leave you guys there. Love for the love, people. You already know what it is. Eagle Talks Football. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And as for where I'm going to send you guys, I'm going to send you guys on a redirect to none other than, who am I going to send it to? Let me see. I'm going to send it to Troops. I'm going to send it to Troops. We're going to send this to Troops right now. Yeah, we're going to send this to Troops. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Catch you guys in the next video. Love for the love. You already know what it is. Eagle Talks Football. And yeah, the classic club who protects your madman. Anyways, we're out of here, people. Peace.